Hey everybody, it's been a very long day and I wanted to make another video. Remembered this cool story that I heard. I was listening to an audiobook while driving, and a guy was talking about this Indian tribe and what they used to do whenever there was a conflict or a situation that needed to be addressed between another person. They would have, or even a group, they would have a hatchet, and the person talking would hold the hatchet. And anybody not holding the hatchet would not speak, but they would listen. And when somebody else had something to say, they would pass the hatchet, and uh, and so forth until they came to a resolution, or they had a solution, or everybody felt heard and they could agree upon it. And then what they did was said, okay, so this conversation is done. We're not going to talk about it. And these people would walk several miles. They'd go on a journey and bury this hatchet somewhere. And if they ever wanted to talk about that subject again, they would have to go where they buried the hatchet and unbury it and talk about it and hold the hatchet. And I thought that's very cool, because it forces you to be aware and listen to the other person talking, and formulate the thoughts that you're having, and put yourself in the other person's shoes. And it's very nice. He was telling the story because he was working with somebody that was going through a divorce, and this guy didn't really have a hatchet that he could bury, because he was just writing a letter to himself. He was getting over a divorce. So what he did is he wrote this letter, kind of moving on from his marriage, and he flew down to Peru and literally climbed up this mountain, like with the ropes and everything, and buried this letter in the side of a mountain. And so if he ever wanted to go back and talk about this past relationship, then he'd need to fly. He was in the States, so he'd need to fly back down to Peru and unbury that letter, and readdress whatever the situation was. So how cool is that? What can we learn from this? What can we apply? We can literally do this. If there's a conflict with somebody, you can get a hatchet. Maybe it doesn't have to be a hatchet. It could be a stick, or it could be something else. But you could literally go bury it in the backyard, and if you want to talk about it with somebody else, you'd have to go unbury it. That'd be a lot of fun. But something that you've been holding on in the past, that you keep thinking about, that doesn't serve you, that doesn't serve anybody else, and brings you down, and doesn't move you forward, and kind of stunts your growth in life. It's okay to bury that. If you don't do it literally, then find a way to ease your mind. And a good way to do that is through forgiving yourself, and telling yourself that things happen and what you can learn from it, and whatever the situation was, or whatever the situation is, finding a way to get through it, and burying something is a very effective tool. Just the mentality behind it is very strong. I'm getting pretty tired here. I don't want to ramble and not make any sense. So bury the hatchet. Don't let something in the past bring you down, and don't stay with it. Move on. So cool. Till next time. Keep learning and growing. All right. Bye.